last name, so it's
Okay.
not this.
My name is Zen Honeycutt. The point in participating in the March Against Monsanto was to let the world know that we know what Monsanto is up to. And that's really, it's just to make money. And it's not to help people, and they say it is, but the results of what they're doing is not helping people, it's not helping the planet, and we know about it now, and we want the world to know, and we want it to stop. And all coming together was extremely empowering. It was wonderful to have 1,000 people in Lagoon Beach, all chanting and marching and holding up signs, kids, elderly, people from all walks of life. It was really fantastic. Well, Monsanto is the largest producer of GMO seeds, and they have publicly stated that it's their intent to basically buy up all the seeds and to own the seed supply, which we believe is just inhumane. It's just not the way God or nature or anybody ever intended, was for one company, one monopoly to own all the seeds. Monsanto says that they're feeding the world, but the fact is that third world countries and the rest of the world, they don't want their seeds. They don't want their food. The crop yields are much lower in many cases for GMOs. We've seen pictures of it. It's not working, and they're also not spraying less pesticides, they're actually spraying more pesticides. I'm outraged by the illegal contamination of our wheat, but I am also equally outraged by the legal contamination of our food supply, with 70% of it being GMO corn and soy. Well, I was both not surprised and completely alarmed. And I was not surprised because nature proliferates. Animals eat seeds and they walk miles away and deposit them very neatly in fertilizer so that the seed can grow. So there's no surprise to me that these GMO crops have spread. And I was also very alarmed because now we have proof that our wheat crops are contaminated. It just doesn't make any sense at all that you would think you could plant something and have it stay there. Nature spreads, pollen spreads. There's no way that you can control it. I think this is one of many incidences out there.
They say, it's just one isolated crop, it's a mystery, it disappeared for 10 years, it's safe to eat.
Right.
You hear all that stuff from the government, and what do you think?
Well, I don't believe it. And frankly, I have to say that many moms feel deeply betrayed by our government. The fact is that there were 16 states which had over 279 field trials of this GMO wheat back in 1998 to 2005. And this is only one incidence that's been found where the GMO wheat continued to stay on after 10 or 12 years. What about the other 15 states? Have they tested? That would be my question. The rest of the world should care about this mysterious GMO wheat crop because it proves that our food supply is contaminated by this illegal GMO food. And it's important because studies have shown the rats that ate genetically modified foods, the third generation was sterile. Now, my family can just eat organic, because we have allergies, like you said, and we'll be fine. But my concern is, and why that doesn't work for me, is because my son's future wives are out there, and they're eating GMO food. And someday, I want them to be able to have children and to experience the profound love that it is to have your own child. GMO is a foreign protein, and that foreign protein can irritate the stomach lining. When your body is fighting off a foreign protein, it gets weakened. And the weakened immune system makes our children susceptible to all different kinds of diseases and allergies and cancers. There are children now who have behavioral issues which look like, autism and psychiatric problems, and they're being drugged. My friend has a son who has PANDAS, which is a pediatric and neurological disorder associated with stress, and they said it was a behavioral issue and wanted to put him on drugs, but they found out it was an underlying strep infection, which is related to a weakened immune system. And as soon as she took him off GMOs, he got better. So there are a lot of kids now that are being locked up in psych wards on psychiatric drugs because they have a weakened immune system and have underlying infections. And we moms are outraged about this. We really believe that these GMOs are compromising an entire generation of our children, and it is not okay with us. This is pretty much permanently in our environment. I don't know how we can take this back. And the only thing that we can do is to stop it from continuing. And that's why, in Hungary and Germany and places like that, they're actually burning these because they want them to go away. And we as mothers, we're not going to be radical like that, but what we can do is not buy it. That's our hope, is that they will get the message. The farmers will hear us, the grocery store owners will hear us, the school cafeteria people will hear us, the hospital people will hear us, and they will make the choice to not serve GMO food. I don't think other countries should buy our wheat if it's contaminated, and I know that sounds very unpatriotic, but I think the only way it's going to change and that they're going to stop growing GMO wheat or GMO corn or GMO soy is if economically it doesn't work anymore, because they're not listening to the scientists and the doctors and the moms that say that this is impacting our health. You know, 1 out of 3 of American children now are obese. 1 out of 3 American children have either autism, ADHD, allergies, autoimmune diseases, or asthma. It's not like that in other countries. It's only like that here, and the major difference is that 80% of our processed food is GMO. Well, to me, it's, you know, I hate to say life or death because it sounds alarmist, but when I found out about GMO food, I found out that the foreign protein in GMOs can irritate the stomach lining, and that can cause stomach ulcers, and stomach ulcers can cause stomach cancer. And so when my son, his mouth flared up, a big red line around his mouth for 2 weeks, that was a warning signal. That's the body telling us that there's inflammation going on in the stomach. So that was actually a good thing that he was getting a rash and letting us know. So we went GMO free, and after about 4 or 5 months, he was accidentally exposed to one of his allergens, carrageenan, which is a seaweed food thickener. It's in lunch meats and hot dogs and ice cream. And it was also in toothpaste. So we went to the dentist, he got exposed to it. But instead of a big red rash around his mouth, he only got a very faint pink line, and it only lasted for 2 days. So his stomach is healing, his immune system is healing, and to me, that says that we're preventing him from getting stomach cancer. So to me, it is extremely important, and I'm not the only one. There are other moms out there, lots of moms. In fact, we have a mom survey on momsacrossamerica.com where we have hundreds of moms who have said that their children's autism symptoms, their autoimmune disease symptoms, their other allergy symptoms, their behavioral symptoms, their IBS have either disappeared or gotten better when they get off GMOs. And there's a huge awareness going on right now. I believe it's Mental Illness Week. And we believe that GMOs are also attributed to mental illness. There are a lot of doctors that say that now. So for us, it is extremely important. And we want the world to know that kids get better when they go off GMOs. Robyn O'Brien is going on Ricky Lake on Thursday about extreme allergies. There are kids out there now that aren't just allergic to 3 things. There are kids that can only eat 3 things. I mean, there are extreme allergies happening with children right now. And the more awareness that we can get, the better. And scientists have had to stay quiet about this for a long time. Many have lost their jobs, they've gotten fired. But the thing is that Monsanto cannot fire moms. We cannot lose our jobs. We are going to keep sharing. We're going to keep telling the world that our kids get better off GMOs and eating all organic. And nothing will stop us because the love for our children will never end. Well, I just want to say for moms that want to find out more about this, please go to momsacrossamerica.com. Also look at Robyn O'Brien's book, The Unhealthy Truth, and her TED Talk on YouTube, which is called Patriotism on a Plate. She has really just uncovered everything there is about food allergies and GMOs and the health of our children. And she's just been a hero to me, and I really appreciate her leadership in exposing all of this. I just implore moms to find out about GMOs. Just Google GMOs and health issues and find out about it, and stop buying it. My co-founder is Kathleen Halal, and she's the one who has a son with PANDAS, and we have lots of moms that we know, that we're familiar with, that have kids with autism and allergies and autoimmune diseases that got completely better by going GMO free.
So, you know, PANDAS was in the news recently.
It was? PANDAS was? And did they say it's not? And did they say out of Oregon?
Yeah, the kid that planned to blow up his school.
See, I'm telling you.
His mom said
and these kids, they
like
lip their lips a lot. They have tics. They stammer. And as soon as they go to the organic, they get better.
It's like I'd never heard of it. And you bring it up, like, really?
Yeah, and
really?
the doctors.
Last 2 weeks.
The doctors are saying it's hypothetical. The doctors are saying it's a hypothesis. They're saying it's not real. But there are some doctors who do say it's real, that acknowledge it. They treat them for an underlying strep infection through a blood test. They find out about it. But there's a hospital.
It's usually younger kids.
Yeah.
That's what we found out.
And there's a hospital in Boston which actually now locks the kids up in a psych ward. They won't even test for it. They won't even do the blood test. So it's outrageous, and they're taken away from the parents. The parents cannot parent them because they don't want them to be given the drugs. And they want the further testing, and the doctors say, no, you're losing your right as a parent or whatever. The child protective services come in and take them away. But the good news is that this is it. Like, we know now why.
Right.
And we can do something about it. I didn't say that on camera, but we can do something about it, It's up to us.